It's DLC day once again in Project Cars 2 as the Ferrari Essentials DLC pack has finally been released, and I'm going to be taking a look at all of the brand new content, including this, the absolutely bonkers Ferrari FXX K. Should be a fun video. Let's get started. What's going on, guys? My name's Matinio and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and a brand new and possibly the final DLC video for Project Cars 2, because the Ferrari Essentials pack has arrived. It has been released. We didn't get a release date, but it just popped out of thin air pretty much. So yeah, so what we're going to be doing in today's video is we're going to be checking out all of the brand new cars and content and, you know, the tracks and so on, and yeah, we'll see what we think about it. So let's just take a quick look and see what we get in this particular pack. So we'll start off with the circuits because there are two of them. So we have the Mugello circuit, which comes in two layouts. We've got the Mugello GP circuit, and we've got the Mugello short circuit. So you've got those two there. And then we've also got Pista di Fioriano, or just Fioriano for the layman's. And yeah, so this only has the one layout, and obviously you can see all the buildings around because it pretty much sits out the back of the Ferrari factory. So yeah, we've got those two circuits there as well. And onto the cars, you can already see one of them here. So there's 8 brand new cars in this, and we'll flick down to the FXXK because that was the first one we see. So yeah, Ferrari FXXK from 2015, absolute monster, falls into the Track Day A category. We've then got the Ferrari F40 road car, which falls into the Road D category there. Absolutely legendary car, one of the best ever made in my opinion. We've got the Ferrari 512 TDF. Again, this falls into Road A category. V12 engine, 7-speed sequential gearbox, got all the features as well, including cup holders, but they only had a couple of horsepower. Then we've got the Ferrari 355 Challenge. This is one I was really excited for. This doesn't fall into any of the regular categories. It's got its own particular category, the Ferrari F355 series. So that'll be fun for some one-make racing fun with you guys. If you have friends that you play online with, that should be fun. Next up, we've got the Ferrari 512 BBLM, which falls into the Group 4 category, which I think is the same category that the BMW M1 falls into, but don't quote me on that because I don't quite know. I might have a look in a moment because the BMW is not too far up in the menu. So yeah, we've got the BBLM. Ignore these ones because these were from the Le Mans pack, of course. They didn't come in this Ferrari pack. The next one, the Ferrari 458 Speciale A. This is falling into the Road B category. Very, very nice looking car there. Then the last two is the Ferrari 250 GT. Again, this falls into the GTC category, 4-speed H-pattern shifter, V12 engine produced in 1961. And then we've got the Ferrari 250 Testarossa, which again falls into the GTC class. And again, they're almost identical in terms of, you know, transmission. Well, they are identical in terms of transmission and engine size. Just one is a little bit faster than the other in certain areas. But yeah, so there are the cars. So what we're going to do in today's video, the first of 2 videos today, is we're going to take some cars and we are going to go for a spin around the new tracks, and we're going to see what the cars are like, we're going to see what the tracks are like, and yeah, so I'm going to jump down to the track and we'll see what this is all about. Okay then, guys, so here we are on the track, and the first car we're going to be taking a look at is the Ferrari FXX K, and I've really been looking forward to this car. It looks absolutely superb from front, back, behind, whatever angle you want to look at it from. It looks absolutely amazing. And we're on the Mugello GP course, so we're going to go for a couple of laps and we're going to see what this thing can do. So let's get the correct view and let's get the little mini hood up. So yeah, let's just see what the pipes are like. Pretty nice, I like it. Okay then, hey ho Silver, hooray! So this thing of course does have traction control, ABS, stability control, and I'll have all of those available for this run. Ooh, I felt the traction control kicking in there. Oh, ran wide. Does feel a little bit understeery. I mean, it's got a lot of power, of course. Yeah, sort of like initial turning at times just feels like it's a little bit numb, unresponsive. So I'm sure it's something you could be able to dial out in setup, but it does feel very nice to drive. It doesn't feel like it's going to try and bite your face off every single time you get your foot on the go pedal, which is nice because no one wants to get their face bitten off by a prancing horse. Long. It does feature a lot of these longish sort of hairpin corners, not necessarily hairpins I'd say. Oh, mess the chicane up completely. Yeah, it's not bad. It feels a little bit understeery, but I might put that down to the fact that I'm still, you know, figuring the course out. Did a 149.6, it was invalidated, of course. Let's see if we can't get a 47. A valid 47 in this thing. It is nice to drive. Very. As soon as you figure out how to drive it properly, which I sort of am, well, I'm starting to figure out the course and where I need to be in, what gear I need to be in, sorry. Long corner. Yeah, it does require a little bit of setup, I'd say. Twiddling with the gearing might be a good one. A 49.5. Okay, so we're nowhere near that 47, of course. Well, there we go, guys. Ferrari FXX K. I'd love to spend more time on this, but I've obviously got quite a few cars and stuff, bits and bobs to get through. So yeah, what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to switch over to another car, and we're going to see what that one's all about. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay then, guys, so we're back, and we're back on track. We're at the Mugello GP course again, and this time we're in the F355 challenge, and this is another car I've been looking forward to. I've been wanting to get my hands on and have a go with, because I've never driven this car in any game that I can remember, at least. So yeah, so what we're going to do again, we're going to go for a couple of laps around the Mugello Circuit, and we're going to see what this thing can do. So let's get in the correct view and give me the mini hood. Right then, let's see if it passes the all-important seal of approval with regards to the noise. Gets my vote. Now obviously things are going to feel a little bit pedestrian compared to what we were driving in the last part, the FXX K, but I don't know. I don't think you can really say this thing is exactly civilized. I mean, we're already doing 125 miles an hour. But, yeah, I mean, the 355 challenge is based off the 355 Berlinetta. And I suppose you could say the challenge part of it, and the extras that come with it, is via a $30,000 upgrade pack. Which you could buy direct from the dealer, and it comes with various bits and bobs, you know, like roll cage, you know, lots of FIA approved bits and bobs. I think there's a new exhaust system in there, or you know, but the list, I can't remember a lot of things off the list, as you can imagine. But if you take a look at the list, and it's on Wikipedia, the amount of stuff you get for that $30,000 extra, admittedly $30,000 is a lot of money, but when you consider how much Ferraris normally cost, and these days $30,000 would probably just pay for one set of front carbon brakes, you get quite a lot. And for all this, just to allow you to actually go racing as well, to make it, you know, bring it up to spec for competing in competition against other 355 owners. And I can't believe I'm about to say this about a Ferrari, but it offers actually quite good value for money. So, yeah, I mean, it's very nice. Again, I still can't get over the fact I'm still trying to adjust from coming from that FXXK. It does feel like I'm going quite slow, even though I'm doing a quarter at nearly 70 miles an hour. But yeah, it feels very nice. I was expecting it to be a little bit more of a challenge. I mean, this does have just ABS, I believe. I don't think it doesn't have stability control or traction control, so but it does feel very nice. Feels very planted. You know, it's not, again, trying to bite your face off every chance it gets. Braking is a little bit, I'm not going to say it leaves a little bit to be desired, but it does feel a bit notchy at times. But overall, this is a really enjoyable car. I think it will make for some really enjoyable racing. Even for beginners, because it's not a particularly hard car to drive. It's not like you're having to combat massive doses of understeer or oversteer. But you can always improve a car with a little bit of setup work, and I think if you were going to attempt any kind of setup work on this car, I think braking would be the first thing you maybe look at. Not saying the braking is bad, the braking is pretty good, it's just adjusting the pressures and the biases. Just to maybe make it a little bit easier to brake late, because if you just feel like it's when you're fully on the brakes, or even 90% on the brakes, it does feel like it's ready to lock and send you straight to the scene of the accident potentially. But yeah, I mean, overall it feels like it's one of the few cars in this game which, for me personally, is actually set up to the point where you can actually go and push without fear of it spitting you into a barrier. So it's been my one criticism of project cars. A lot of the cars require a hell of a lot of setup, and I don't know whether it's just I've got some sort of wonky alien-like driving style. Not saying I'm an alien in my lap times, but overall it's very, very good. If I'm, you know, unless you're bouncing off the limiter, then it's terrible. So we're going to come across the line. It's going to be a 207.2. So yeah, I mean, there you go, guys. Unfortunately, I can't spend more time on this car because we've got quite a bit to get through in this first video and in the second one as well. And they're going to be a little bit later than normal because I spent most of the day unwell in bed, and I decided just I didn't even know the DLC was out. But yeah, we're going to move on to another car now, and we're going to see what that's all about. So yeah, I'll be back in a minute. But Ferrari F355 Challenge, I highly recommend it. It's a very, very nice car to drive. So, I'll be back in a second when we bring up our next car. Okay then, guys, so here we are once again at the Mugello Circuit, and this time we have the Ferrari 512 BBLM. Of course, falls into the Group 4 category, and yeah, this is another car I've been very much looking forward to. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to go for a couple of laps around Mugello, and we're going to see what this is all about. So let's get in the correct view for a start. There we go, and there we go. Right then, sounds pretty good. It's a flat 12, I think. So yeah, let's see what this thing can do. So yeah, I can't say I know a whole lot about this car, if I'm honest. I mean, we know it falls into the Group 4 category, of course. And I think this thing competed at Le Mans, but I don't think it competed there with any sort of real success. But again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. But yeah, I mean, falling into the Group 4 category, I've always said that, you know, you've got the BMW M1, the M1 in there, which is a brilliant car, but I like competition. I like a bit of variety in my classes, and if we've got that here, then that's absolutely fantastic, because I imagine this will make for some very fun battles. And honestly, I was expecting this to be a lot more difficult to drive than it actually is, but it isn't. It's, again, very, very civilized. When you think about a car with a flat 12 engine from the late 70s, early 80s, I think it was 81. Ugh. As you can see, it does have a little bit of understeer. But yeah, I was expecting this to be a lot more difficult to drive and get around the course. I was expecting, you know, massive doses of rear wheel spin and oversteer and so on and so forth, but it just doesn't have it. Apparently, it just seems very, very straightforward and easy to drive. It's like I'm just going to the shops to buy some milk and cat food. But you know, in a car that could easily go racing at Le Mans. Whoa, okay, no, come back, behave. I was just singing your praises there, and you go and do that. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting it to be a lot more difficult to drive. I was expecting me to be soaring at the wheel, trying to get this thing where I need it to be and to behave itself. But I just don't, for the most part. You know, barring under sort of deepish braking potentially. And it does go a bit as well. Turning is very, very good. It's very planted on the power as well. I'm not have to, you know, just feather the throttle in order to get the power down so this thing doesn't spin itself off into a big accident. It's so good. And because you know, it's even made more impressive because I'm not running any assists. I don't think this thing has any assists available to it because I run realistic aids. So that's even more surprising. That this thing is this civilized and this drivable when I was expecting, I'm not going to say anything but I was expecting to be a bit more of a challenge. But it is, oh, it's so good. And it's relatively pointy as well. Yeah, as long as you just, you know, you don't go too mad with it. But even then, you can, I think you can still throw this thing around a fair bit and it will still stick to the road. It's very good. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting this. But it's going to be a 201.241. So, yeah, the Ferrari 512 BBLM. A fairy dressed in a monster's clothing? No, that would be wrong to say. It's very good. It's very pointy. It's very very planted. And I can't really think of anything else to say from it. I'm surprised. I was expecting this thing to have a whole list of things. Yep, I need to change that. Yeah, I need to change that. That needs to be brought back. That needs to be wound up and so on. But it's very, very good. So, yeah, highly suggest you drive this, guys. Give it a fling around and stick it up against the M1. So, yeah, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to move on to the final car of this video. So, I'm going to go and get that sorted, and I'll see you in a moment when we're back on track. Okay then, guys, we're back, and the fourth and final car we're going to be taking a look at for this video in the very least is this, the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta. We're on the Mugello Circuit once again, but we're on the short layout this time. So yeah, we're going to take this thing for a spin. It does look absolutely fantastic. It is a beautiful car, it really is. But yeah, we're going to take this for a spin, and we're going to see what this thing can do. So let's get ourselves in the correct view once more. And give us the hood. Right then. Oh, it does sound nice. Oh, it's laying down some 11s. They don't make them like this anymore. So yeah. What the? Oh, we have to go across this. Okay. So yeah, the 250 GT Berlinetta wouldn't be the one I would favour if I was going to have any of the 250 cars in there. I'd probably go for the California, purely because it was in Ferris Bueller, which is, you know, one of my all-time favourites. It's an amazing film, but yeah, this is a really nice car to drive. I do like watching the you know, the Goodwood revival racing. You do see things like this, and yeah, I mean, it's a classic car. It's a beautiful car. It really is. It's one of a whole host from that sort of era that you can just look at and say, this is what building cars was all about. They don't make them like this anymore. And I think this would be a really good car to drive somewhere like California Highway or the Azure Coast, and just not necessarily take it easy, but just enjoy the scenery and the sound of that engine. Pretend you've got your girl or guy, whatever you're into, by your side, and just go for a drive. But I mean, yeah, it's relatively civilized and planted. It's quite pointy at the front end, and you can see that there will be occasions where you do have to give it a whack of counter steer just to get it to settle down at the rear. But it's not so bad that it's going to cause you you know, to lose all manner of amounts of lap time, or just find yourself rolling backwards towards the wall. But yeah, I mean, it's again, it's utterly civilized. I don't know if it's just the case that I've come from cars that are faster than this one is, and that makes maybe a little bit more easy to drive. Obviously, you do have a bit of a body roll, a bit of weight transfer, or a bit of excessive weight transfer potentially. But this is, you know, you can see why these cars were so successful, because it's got a very good balance to it. It's not absolutely perfect, of course, but it's got a very good balance to it. The only thing I don't like is that last corner, because it's confusing, because you have to go across those those painted, that painted white section. I imagine that if you were to do that in the wet around here, that would be terrible. That would be like, you know, puckered butthole time. But we've done a couple of laps. We'll go for one more, and we'll see if we can get a better time out of this thing. We're not going to get it like that though. I don't think we're going to get a brilliant time out of this one. That chicane. Oh, we are. We're up by 0.7 of a second, near enough. So yeah, like I said, you occasionally just get a little bit of oversteer on the exit of the corner. Just give it a quick whack, a little short whack of counter steer, and away you go again. But yeah, this is it's a really nice car to drive. It is. We'll see what the time's going to be though. 107.3. There we go, and it shifts as well. Look, we're at 130 mile an hour pretty much. But we're going to bring it down because we don't want to crash it. So yeah, guys, the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta, very nice car to drive. If you're into your classic fare, as a lot of you are, then I highly suggest you give this a go. And like I said, I think this would be a lovely car to drive down the California highway or the Azure coast, depending on your preference there. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, guys, so that's pretty much the end of today's video. Well, not today's video, the end of our first video. The next video, we're going to be taking a look at the other 4 cars from this DLC pack. And we're also going to be taking a look at the Mugello Circuit. So that should be a fun one if Mugello is something you were looking forward to. But yeah, so thank you everybody so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this, you would like to see more Project Cars 2 or just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments, guys, what cars have you been enjoying driving so far? Which is your favourite from this DLC pack? Which cars don't you like? Or which cars would you have liked to have seen? Which Ferrari cars would you have liked to have seen? Always happy to hear from you. But again, guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace!